Hello, my Scorpio, and welcome to your day. Thank you so much again for joining me. So, today I'm going to go over the planets with you and understand how they are affecting you right now. This is something I haven't done for a while, and I do think that the planets need to be gone over at least once every month and a half. I'm going to try to do it once a month. I haven't done it since January, like in detail. I do try to always tell you exactly where the planets are. I post that in the beginnings of all my videos, but I haven't talked about exactly how it's affecting you and why. So we're going to learn together. I'm going to teach you a few details that I think everybody needs to know when they're looking at either their birth chart, someone else's birth chart, or just the astrology chart of today and how it is impacting you in your life. So what we have to start out with is the chart for March. We're going to go through March's charts week by week. And I may not hit on every little detail every week because things don't change too much, but I am going to post that. You'll see them in the video. If you want to scroll ahead to look at the end of the month or whatever, it'll be there. So what we have for a Scorpio. Currently, there are no planets in your sign, Scorpio. That means you have nothing in conjunction with you. If something is in your sign, it's like when I talk about how the moon is in your sign and I tell you that you're just going to be feeling all emotionally pulled towards being your emotional self, like how you are. It just means that that planet of emotion or body of, mass, it's not necessarily a planet, it's a moon, that is affecting that part of our life. So when it comes to that part of our life, if something is in your sign, you're going to feel very drawn to acting what feels just natural. It's who you are. Maybe even to an extreme where you might question why you're acting so much like that part of you. And it's just because that's who you are. So right now, though, you don't have anything in conjunction with you, but there are some things that are near you. Where I am a Cancer and like a Leo and a Virgo, we are nothing. We're on the opposite side of the scale. Right now, all the planets are on one side and we're on the other side. You are like kind of on that horizon where you've got no planets on your left and all the planets are on your right or directly across from you. But what we have is, we'll start with opposite. So we talked about conjunction, when something is in your sign and how that affects you. Now, when something is opposite to you, you may be thinking that, well, it's right across from me, so it must be a good thing, but it's not. When something is opposite, it is like, they say it can create tension, it can create aggression and be frustrating. Things are not integrating well. But the way I always get when I have something opposite to me is it's like it just doesn't work. Like it's to the point where I almost don't even acknowledge that side of me because I just am not feeling it at all. Like it's just not how I feel. And so I don't ever think about it. I don't bring it to my mind to even try to do it. Like it is just natural for me to do absolutely not whatever is over there. So when it comes to signs, the sign that you are opposed to is a Taurus. A Taurus is a very physical, it is an earth sign. A Taurus is a little bit of an emotional earth sign. Taurus is generally ruled by, it's ruled by Venus, the sign of love. It's also about finances, possession, kind of material desires. There's like a need for patience and persistence, determination, all those kind of feelings when it comes to like your home life, when it comes to anything to do with physical and home, really. Let's just put it that way. And it's ruled by Venus, the house, the planet of love and harmony and beauty. So the two main things that when those come together, love, finances, and home, those things probably don't really feel natural to you together. You probably don't think about love and money and home and money and things like in that combination. It just doesn't feel very, like, it's not very important to you. I mean, love is important, physical things are important, but you get those aspects from the other signs in smaller pieces. You don't generally think about love and money all at once. And when you do, it may not actually work out in your favor. It's not natural for you to associate those two things together. So, right now, with that said, Mars is in Taurus. And Mars is the planet of action, the planet of attitude, the planet of maybe even aggression and competition and courage and sex, just that push. And those aspects of your life, when it comes to that aggressive, active attitude, again, it just may not feel very natural to pursue those angles. You may be feeling like you need to focus on other areas of your life, whether it be just love or just money or just the ethereal or things in that realm. You're not feeling like you need to be pushing the actions and the passions when it comes to money and love. Like when it comes to that financial love, how you get physical things from emotional things, those things, it just doesn't equate with you right now. And you're not going to be, because Mars is in that sign, in other areas of your life that don't have to do with money and love, which it sounds so weird to say that, but it really is. Like, that's Taurus. Taurus is a very physical, down to earth, home, lovey kind of sign. So anyway, when anything to do with Mars as well, though, things where you're wanting to be active and driven and focused and aggressive, you are just not feeling that way right now. You are actually, and like I said, people say when things are opposite that you're like, you're just frustrated with it. And you may not be frustrated with it. You might be frustrated with it, but it might be just that it is so not, you're just not in the mood. Not even in the mood. It doesn't even enter your mind. You're not worried about pushing your life forward right now. It's just not having it. Maybe you were 2 months ago. Maybe you'll be 2 months from now. But right now, you and just this aggressive action, you're not into it. So we'll quit beating that dead horse, that dead bull, and we'll move on to some other aspects that you need to understand. So we've talked about conjunction, we've talked about opposite. Those are pretty straightforward. That's kind of like yin and yang. That is like definitely like comfortable and uncomfortable in a sense. But there's other aspects to consider. They are whether something is sextile or square or triangular to you. So that is like literally, is it a triangle, is it a square, or is it a star? Okay, and a six-sided star. So that goes good, bad, good. Just like that. So when something is square to you, it doesn't work. It doesn't, it's not the same as being opposite in the sense that you're just completely not even focused on it, not even going to try to do it. If somebody mentions it, you're just like, nah. When things are more, a little bit closer to you, where they become either sextile or square, those are things that are like, you probably have to deal with it. It's going to come up. You might even think that you want to try something in that realm, and you have one of two avenues, or the third avenue is net neutral. But one of the two avenues is if it could be square, it could be sextile when it's close to you like that. And when something is square to you, it's like it rubs you the wrong way if you try to do it. It's like Murphy's Law. It is like, if you attempt to do that, you may want to do it because it's not like opposed to you. That concept is close enough for you to be like, yeah, that's in my peripheral. I want to do that. But if you try to do it, it's just going to end up like cake on your face. So what we have for you right now when it comes to those areas of your life, in the beginning of the month, we have Venus. Your love life is in Aquarius. So I'll just keep rambling on and just tell you that for Scorpio, Aquarius and Leo are your square signs. And so nothing's in Leo, but in Aquarius, we've got Mercury moving into Aquarius. We got Venus in Aquarius. The Sun is in Aquarius. Neptune is in Aquarius. That's a lot of things that if you are not careful, you're going to, I'll just say it, fail at it. You're going to fail at communication. You're going to fail at communicating with loved ones. You're going to fail at being intuitive right now, and maybe you have felt that way for a little while. You might have felt like that for a year, because Neptune moves slow, and that's your intuition side. And with Neptune having been in Aquarius for the last year, for all of 2020, you just may have felt like everything just comes out wrong. Like you're thinking it wrong. You're overthinking this. You're not overthinking that. You're not able to get your mind right. And it's not you. It's Neptune. So something to keep in mind. And also to know that in the next month or so, well, not the next month or so, but by the middle end of the year, let's say the fall, Neptune will be moving into Pisces. And so it is going to go from being not a detriment, but just not working out. It's going to be 90 degrees from you now, and it's not going to work out. But once it moves into 120 degrees from you, that makes it triangular. It's going to be way more seamless. Okay? So before I move on to triangular, let me just make sure I'm recapping. We've got you square to Aquarius and Leo, and Mercury will be in Aquarius, halfway through the month. Let me see. By the 16th of March, Mercury's going to be in Aquarius. And until about the 16th, 18th of March, Venus is going to be in Aquarius. So just know that as your love issues move out of Aquarius and stop being square with you, so you may have been having some issues on your love front, those energies are going to start to work out well, but right behind it is a communication barrier. So don't try to be overly communicative towards the end of March. You don't want to try to be really preachy with people. You don't necessarily want to speak first and act second. You want to double check your words, double check your text, make sure that the energies that are the communication lines that you are putting out there are very clear, because there's going to be higher chances that things are going to be Murphy's Law and just not go in your favor. But with the love, I'm really excited for you for that, because who doesn't want love to be on their side? And for you and love, it's going to go out of this square and into the beautiful triangle of Pisces, and it's just going to be such this warm and fuzzy feeling for you coming in to the end of the month. It's just going to really, really be working out in your favor. I'm very happy for you for that. So we'll just move right into that concept of what you need to know there. So when things are triangle to you, that means they're in your element. You are a water sign. So Pisces and Cancer, you work well with them. When things are in Pisces and Cancer, you're going to work well with those things. And that feeling of triangulation is the complete opposite of being opposed to something. When you're opposed to something, it's sort of opposite. But when you're opposed to something, you just don't even want to deal with it. You don't think about it. It doesn't come naturally. When you're triangular to something, it just flows. That energy flows like a river. It's perfect. There's nothing holding it back. That leaf will just float through that stream and be completely unobstructed. Whereas when you're opposite something, it's like trying to paddle upstream. It's just not going to work out. To the point where you're not even going to want to do it, So things that are going to flow well with you. At the beginning of March, middle of March, you're going to flow better with your intuition. by the middle of the March, sense of self, everything to do with yourself and attitude is going to be more on point. You're going to be flowing better with that as the sun transitions into Pisces. By the end of March and right at the beginning of April, you're going to have Venus in your sign with love, and then when it's almost April, communication is going to be coming out of Aquarius, pushing into Pisces. Things are going to flow through your mouth better as well. You know, you're setting up to have a good April on the love and the communication and self side. Very good. So the final thing that I want to talk about is sextile. When something is sextile to you, it is within 60 degrees of you, left or right, or on the other side. But really, it's just left and right. You know, they show things being sextile like, you know, anything that's 2 signs away from you. But it's really only for the two that are 2 signs away from you to the left and right. Because things that are 4 signs away from you to the left and right, well, those are your elements. That's your triangulation. So it's even more than sextile, okay? And things that are 180 degrees from you, which technically would be sextile, is actually completely opposite. So I don't know how other people view this, but this is definitely how I view it, that your sextile is left and right 2 degrees or 2 signs, which is your complementary, that's the word I've been trying to think of all evening, is your complementary element. So for water, our complementary element is earth. Earth and water go together, air and fire go together, and the sign that is on both sides of you 2 degrees away is none other than Earth. So Capricorn and Virgo. When things are in Capricorn and Virgo, whether they be people that you're dealing with or their planets within those signs, it's going to work out. It may not necessarily be something that you just absolutely gravitate towards, like a triangulation with your element, or like something that is like within your own sign. But when it's in your complementary close signs, it's going to work out beautifully. So what you have here is you have Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto. And Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto have been inside of Capricorn for a while. So you may have been feeling a little bit of just general luck and this maybe even like mysticalness, a little bit of, I don't want to say luck when it comes to responsibility, but you've been a little bit more driven at work. You've been a little bit more concerned about your work life than normal. I'm not going to say you've been jumping up and down to go to work or anything like that, but you haven't been just completely hating it, okay? You haven't just been absolutely like biting nails about it. So, when it comes to responsibility, when it comes to structure, when it comes to wanting to care for yourself and others, you are naturally, kind of inclined to be successful at that right now if you attempt it. If you don't attempt it, it's not going to just fall into your lap. It's not triangular to you. But if you choose to act on these feelings, it's gonna prevail. There's things are gonna come out of it that are good. So with Pluto as well, that is the sign you are ruled by. I mean, some people say that you're ruled by Mars. It just depends on which version of the planetary charts you are looking at. But you're kind of a little bit both. You're a little bit passionate. You're a little bit driven and expressive, and you're also a little bit, sexual and transformative and just inherently curious. That's the Pluto side. So Scorpio has that double sign action going on. Some of the other planets are too, though. It's not just you, don't worry. But in your core, I'll say you're passionate, but in your mind, you're very, very just inherently transformative. It's really a kind of good way to say it, I guess. Very emotional, but you don't show it kind of thing. That's Pluto. But that's really all I have as far as understanding the different areas and how they positively and negatively affect you. And so the final thing I'll just throw out there is like when things are right next to you, or when things are right next to your opposite. So if something is in Sagittarius or Libra, it's just net neutral. If something is in Aries or Gemini, it's just net neutral. It's not good, it's not bad or anything like that, but it's not going to have any luck behind it. It's not going to have as much natural flow behind it. It's going to be a little bit more just like real world effort to try to accomplish that. So the last thing I will say before I go is that the new moon is going to start on the 12th of March. I am going to have a video on the 12th of March showing you exactly how the moon is going to transition through the signs and through its phases for the next 28 days. And from now on, you'll have that video to go back on. So if you want to know something, you don't have to be reliant on me posting a video every day for you to tell you what's going on. You can go to that video and know exactly what's going on with the moon and how that is affecting you right now. So I'll just leave it there. And I'm thanking you so much for being here. Subscribe if you've made it this far in the video. Like, comment if you want to have any questions with me. I'll answer them as best I can. And other than that, I'll see you next time. Bye.